Now, remember this is a workshop, so feel free to ask questions, share your views, your opinions, comment, and speak up, okay? Okay, let me just start with first with an advertiser. This is maybe a question for you guys. Second, my clicker isn't working because I didn't insert it, so it's a good explanation for that. Let's see what's happening. Okay. This is my simplified view of the world. I have testing at the center of the universe, of course. I'm a tester, test professional, so I have a very simplified test process. This is my test process. I know it's very simplified, but please just stay along, okay? What happens is, I have my application on the test coming into testing in version X01, okay? What happens? We do a lot of testing, we do planning, we put money into the whole thing, resources, schedules, people, and so forth. So what happens? Once we complete the testing, we have the application on the test in version X01 still, yeah, which is finished testing. So, if you think about it as a production line, putting a lot of stuff in, putting a lot of time and effort and money, and it comes out the same way. Is that a good process or is it a poor process? Maybe I'm getting something else that is not here, yeah? So what am I getting out of the testing activities? Anyone? You, sir. Sorry, you're the first one here. So, what are you getting? You've done all the testing on this software. What are you getting? Did you find anything? Did you do anything? Anything particular? Stability of the software. But are you putting stability into the software yourself? Is the testing do that? You're testing for stability, okay. But let's say that, as mentioned, we're not doing any changes here, because that could be the subsequent phase where maybe the developers will do the changes. I'm not doing any changes here. So what am I getting out of this? Any other views? Just results. Let's say, just for the sake of discussion, I'm not documenting my results. I'm doing exploratory testing, so I'm just keeping it for myself. So, do I still get anything out of this process? Bugs. Okay. Let's say, again, just for the sake of discussion, I didn't find any bugs whatsoever. Am I getting anything out of this process? Confidence. The main artifact you're getting, which is a one of you saying, all of you, is information. I'm doing testing, I'm getting insight into the stability of the software, into the functionality, into the performance of the software. So I'm learning more about the software. I'm getting confident whether it can do the job or not. So the main output of the whole thing during the testing is the inside information we extracted. This is what we're learning from it. So we're all information providers in our organization. Now, I assume many of you are subscribers to certain news, media, articles, and so forth. What would make you subscribe to a certain media? Sorry? Sorry? The relevance of the information. So my point is, if you provide relevant information, then people will want to subscribe to your testing. Yes? So basically, our profession in testing is all about extracting information and passing it on to someone else. Sometimes it can be related to the performance or stability of the application. But if you find some insight that has caused developers to make some changes, maybe in a good way or a bad way, or at the end of the day, maybe you've passed on information to the decision makers, to the project manager, the product owner, whether they want to release the software, whether it's still not, adequate to release. Now, obviously, for the information to be relevant, it needs to be good enough for people to make decisions. This is where the risk communication. Ultimately, the product owner wants to know what is the risk if I send this software out now. Okay? Now, in my world, it's not the tester's decision to decide whether the software is stable or not, or whether it's ready to ship or not. It's someone else. It's the product owner. So for me, it's like in a court of law. Yeah, you have two sides. You have a prosecutor, you have a defender, and typically, developer, he will see the software is innocent until proven guilty. Yeah. Testers will have the opposite approach. Yeah, we'll be trying to see that how can we make sure that we can show that the software is not ready. We're trying to figure out, basically, our objective is show that we still have issues there. At the end of the day, we present our case, developers will present their case to the product owner, and they will make a decision. Now, if we collect the good information, if we collected information that will enable us to quantify the risk, then we've done a good job. This is at least how it is in my work. Now, I know some testers have been put in a very difficult situation. Your product manager will come and say, look me in the eyes, is the software good enough to ship or not? It's not your decision. You're creating the facts, the information. Based on that, they can make a decision. Okay? Remember that. So, basically, for this workshop, next 1.5 hours, we're going to talk about what is the risk. Basically, how to identify and manage the risks. We're going to focus actually on product risk. We're going to explain there's a difference between project and product risk. And we're going to focus on product risk in this workshop. We're going to discuss how to build a test strategy that will fit the risk. We're going to discuss, some of you have been maybe hearing about Agile. How does risk work in the concept of Agile testing? We're going to discuss this. And we're going to discuss a few practical examples and case studies. And at the end, we're also going to discuss what are the risks of risk-based testing. Obviously, what it means when you're doing risk-based testing is that you say, I don't want to test everything. I want to maybe focus on a few areas, but it also means that there's a risk because you have deselected a few things. Let's discuss these also. So in the meantime, I will just pass on some of these slides. So if you please take one and pass it on. Oh, you didn't have to start. I'll do the same thing. Thank you. Okay. So first, what is risk? From a definition point of view, there are multiple definitions out there. I've selected one that I found actually quite descriptive, quite relevant from Wikipedia. Risk is the potential harm that may arise from some present process, or from some future event. So basically, some unknown thing that might happen in the future. Typically, you express risk in terms of two important factors. In terms of likelihood, which is the probability of things going wrong, and what's the impact. So basically, statistically, you'd say, what is the probability of this software failing? One wrong? Another one? How much will it hurt if this fails? It is something that, an application will crash, we have a company will be sued, we have lawsuits, and people are angry mob, coming at the company, want to pay the company because they're angry because the feature is not working. Or is something that, basically, there's a saying that if a wood falls in the forest and no one there to hear it, it will make a difference. This is just, minor thing, no one will notice. So this is the impact, consequences. You can express risk in qualitative or quantitative terms. Quantitative in terms of putting a number in it, saying the risk is 80% or whatever kind of unit of measure you want to put, express it in, or more qualitatively, risk high, low, medium, and so forth. Different ways of risk. Now, if you put a number on it, there are two extremes obviously. If you go, for example, if you say like a percentage from 0 to 100%, two things you need to exclude. First of all, if the risk likelihood is 0, it's still a risk. You don't need to consider that because 0. On the other hand, if the risk is 100%, it's not a risk either. This is a destiny that you can't do anything about it. So it should be something in between. Yes. It doesn't make sense if it's either 0 or 100%. So let's look at risk identification. Basically, just to set the context also, as mentioned, there are several risks area. One is looking at a product, meaning the application that you're testing or service that you're testing. This is the product risk. Another thing would be a project risk, looking at basically the entire project, looking for example, what is the risk of the schedule or the resource that you have. These are project related. And last one, risk regarding the process that you apply. On this session today, we're going to focus only on product risk. Not to say that the other ones are irrelevant, but just to back up, time, we're going to focus on the first one. Well, let me maybe start by asking you guys. Have you been involved in risk analysis in your company? Done kind of risk identification? Yes, no, maybe? I was there. Yeah. No, okay. Anyone did participate in risk analysis workshops? Let me ask you then. Do you have insurance at home? Personal insurance, car insurance? Yep. Okay. Let's say that I want to get personal insurance, insurance against injury and stuff like that. I go and check the insurance company. I want to get an insurance. What is the price for that insurance? What will they do? They will ask some questions, yeah? Some of them might ask for a medical report. Why? Exactly, it says the risk in insuring you. That's correct. Why do they want to know all this information? System risk, yeah. What kind of information, what kind of questions will you be asked beside the medical report? Age, that's correct. Lifestyle, smoking, yeah. Sometimes, they might ask you for your hobbies, yeah? For example, if I say to them, I like actually climbing mountains in the weekends, and I enjoy bungee jumping every second, in the summertime. And I'm also doing some scuba diving, by the way, and I also, at the same time, I'm driving a Formula 1 car, together with my friends. Now, obviously, what would happen automatically, what do you think? Will the price of the insurance go up or go down? It'll go up. Or they might do two things. They'll put it that high that maybe they will not say no, but they'll probably make it that high that I will go and find another place to have insurance. Or they say, well, you need to find an insurance company who is, focused on people with a very exciting lifestyle as yourself, yeah? And give you this product that you want. Now, same thing when you're looking at your software and your system. There are different ways of finding out if there are risks in the software. Some of the techniques that I mentioned here are formal techniques, some are more informal. Some is more you sitting together in a group, all the stakeholders, and discussing what are the risks that we perceive based on our knowledge of the software, on the system, on the market insight. So, for example, failure mode and effect analysis is a form of technique. You can look it up. There's some, basically, just for it in the internet. It's a little out there. It's actually it's a very formal process of creating, identifying risk and documenting the risk. There are a few other approaches. Another one is just past experience. You know in the past, whenever we do this, it goes wrong. So maybe this is a risky area. Yeah? You might also interview certain people with insight into certain areas and based on that identify the risk. Now, what is important is that risk is very subjective. So if you don't ask certain people, you will not get their view on it, and you might miss out on certain aspects. So for example, if you're anyone from support, okay, what kind of questions will you be asking when you're about to create a new product in your software?
We plan to run through some assessment.
Yeah.
For this, test summary, and also the procedure that how they roll out, and also the format how the format works.
Because your view, you want to be able to support the product once it's out there. So you might ask questions that are related to the support that if you're not asked, maybe they forget to include in the system. For example, it might be that there be some mechanisms in the system that will allow you to capture this in the system itself, so you don't actually need to pay for them stuff. So that would be smart, that will make your life easier. Yeah? Another thing, anyone from the service line, basically the operations that need to do the actual going out, installing, reinstalling, and these kind of things. I think it's extended support. These guys might be asking, for example, I need a certain interface that will allow me to install the software on a new device. Yeah? In your TV, for example, you probably all have TVs at home. In the back, you probably see a number of USB plugs and other kind of weird connections that you say, why are they there? And simple explanation is that they are there because there are other parties that wanted those in order to do something about it. This is not related to the user interaction. This is related more to the production itself, or to the support, or to the maintainability, or the service of the equipment. So the point is, when you do these kind of risk identifications, you need to remember to include the different stakeholders. Or maybe if you're thinking that sisters are not in charge of, driving the risk,